There is a vigorous and global attack on the value of individuals. Because without individual value and power, we are more easily led and controlled. There really are those that want us to be sheep. If you take away purpose and truth, you undermine personal worth. You rob them of rights, devalue personal power, you negate personal responsibility, so that those with money or power or greed-based desire can control us. One of the ways they do this is through religion. If you remove religion and move to atheism, you remove the purpose of human beings. If we're just a cosmic mistake, what is our purpose in being here? If I spill milk on a table, what's the value or the purpose of that? Now, I can still grow mold. The mold has life, but does it have purpose? Or is it just waiting to be cleaned up? If we are mistakes, there can be no right or wrong. And therefore, there is no right or wrong. There is no value. There is no meaning to what we do here. When we end, and that's all of it. So when we take away the possible meaning for human beings, we remove the power and responsibility to act appropriately. Another way we do this is to take away the individual from the group and say that the group has all meaning. One of the ways we do this is remove free speech. Anything that offends the group needs to be eliminated. One of the ways we do this is by saying that words are a physical threat to others. If you say that thoughts can actually rob someone of value, then we have a right or responsibility to stop the thoughts or words of others, even through physical violence. By making difference between individuals and groups a threat, we can isolate and remove support so that they cannot give or receive aid from others, because anyone who's different than them is a threat, and therefore you can't help anyone who doesn't agree with you. And the individual cannot be trusted with power for self-defense, because then they could be a threat to the group. So we must disarm, and we must remove their value and power. We jail them, or we take away their freedoms or their liberties so that they cannot be a threat. We do this by attacking reality. We mix life dimensions. In the transgendered argument, we say that what is a belief, an idea, is now physical. So we confuse an idea of masculine with male and feminine with female. There is no difference now between an idea about self and the physical manifestation of self. By confusing the mental and the physical, we remove the ability to understand each other, and therefore we cannot work together to solve problems. And the spiritual is now mental or social. An individual has value. This is something, it's not just a mental idea, and it's not a physical manifestation. Value is something that goes deeper than the thought or the physical being. If you say that one person's ideas, beliefs, or statements about you can actually take away your value or worth, what you're saying is another person has more power over your value, beliefs, your ideas than you do. We rob the individual of the ability to understand their own worth, regardless of what others believe. With this confusion, the individual goes from powerful and independent to a helpless victim of anyone and everyone who thinks, feels, or says something differently than what they believe. The individual is no longer a source of value and importance. They're just a target. We also look at this and say, what happened to our group of ancestors in the past has more power over our life than what we do ourselves today. The belief in the social push to validate that all limits today are caused by the actions of others in the past attacks the idea of personal power and personal responsibility for what's happening now. Reparations for slavery. The idea that blacks in America struggle because of slavery and not because of current actions or choices. Are challenges based on the impact of slavery, or are they on race? We think that only black Americans can talk about a heritage of slavery. Even now, there are those that are thinking to yourselves, I as a white man have no right or even ability to understand the heritage of slavery and how that can impact an individual, even generations later. However, I am the product of slavery. 7 generations ago, my grandmother was a slave, but today I am white. Now, do I have limits because of the experience of my ancestors of slavery? Or do I have privilege because of the color of my skin? Is it slavery or is it race? Does my group connection control my identity and my power? Am I a racist white man, as I was called by a college professor, because of the color of my skin, or am I a victim due to the heritage of slavery through my grandmother? Or am I a capable human being right here, right now, today, that can impact the world and make opportunities and success for myself right here, right now, today? Again, as we look at the group instead of the individual for meaning and power, we rob the individuals of the belief of power, and we also rob them of the responsibility to act and to make a difference for themselves today. When we make everything we're doing about groups, about history, about something other than individual responsibility and power today, we remove individuals' ability to make a difference in their own lives and to also be responsible for the good that they create today.